Hey, it's Ben here. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review, going over the pros and cons of a new software coming out called Reclick 2.0. And what this does is this creates pop-ups, exit pops, sticky opt-in banners, surveys that lead to opt-ins, things like that that help you capture customers' email address from your site or maybe your client sites like that. It works for every type of site, including lead pages sites. There's a WordPress plugin, so it works for WordPress sites, Shopify sites, everything like that. Now, whenever it was first launched, it was a big success. There's a lot of customers. I don't remember everything that was included in it, but it does look like there's a couple more templates added. There's a few new features. To be honest, it doesn't look like that much new was added in the 2.0 version. However, that's not really a deal breaker or worth leaving a negative review, because compared to a lot of the other pop-up softwares and things like that, even like kind of the commercial grade ones, this has a lot new features. The design's a lot better. A lot more stuff to help you actually capture the leads and get results than all the other ones. Now, to be honest, before I keep going, there's other pop-up softwares. Obviously, there's tons of them out there. Two of the ones that are comparable in the number of in the quality of templates and the features are one called Opt-in Monster. Now I got access to that for a good price whenever it first launched, but now kind of the creators got kind of greedy. It's like really expensive right now. And also there's another one called Pop-Up Domination you might have heard about. Now this one, again, it was available for like a one-time price, a low one-time price like the Reclick 2.0 is. But then again, that one's now changed to like a SaaS software, and they actually changed the interface. I own it, and you can't really opt out of paying that SaaS fee unless you try to like contact them or call them on the phone. There's no way to like get them from taking your credit card away, so that's not really too good. So that's another reason I'm doing a review of this one here, because it is available for a one-time fee. It doesn't look like there's any of that like nonsense going on, like with the pop-up domination. It looks like there's good tutorials here you can see. If you have questions to all like common questions, answers to common questions, I should say. There's like a video overview. There's ways to contact the support. And it's on the 2.0 version, so that means that obviously they've been updating it for a year and keeping it useful for the customers who have bought, unlike a lot of the things that are happening out there. Now, like I said, there's a bunch of unique features that you're not going to see in like other pop-up softwares and stuff. Things like ways to organize your campaigns and run multiple types of pop-ups to your site and split test them and auto pick the winners. There's targeting features to capture certain people via geolocation, or only have the pop-up show whenever they've reached a certain point on the content, which is important. I'll explain a little bit later. There's visibility based on unique visitor tracking, so you don't show the same thing over and over to the same person. There's the designs are a lot better on average than the typical pop-up stuff that gets launched. It allows you to do things like not just capture the information, you can create surveys to get data, and then have those like lead in a funnel back to a certain product that they've chosen. You can give away coupons. That's good for Shopify sites. You can call back visitors to content, a bunch of different things like that. So the way this works is, first what you want to do is you want to create a new project here. So what you can do is you can actually organize all these different things by project. So that's good if you're going to be using this for like a client site, for example. So I'm going to click here on my project I created, and then within the project you can create different campaigns you can run, and this is going to show you the analytics and allow you to do the split testing and create different opt-in forms within that. So you can have multiple different opt-in forms split testing against one another for one specific site within one specific campaign, so you can quickly organize them and check that out. So the way this works is you just create a new campaign, give it a unique name, and then you're going to include the domain name. I'm just going to use that as an example. So it organizes by the site, and then you can start by selecting what template you want. Now, first, what they have these light boxes, and that's like the pop-up that makes the site kind of dark. And first, you have just the regular opt-in ones. So let's do a quick preview of some of these. So that's what one looks like. Here's another one. So obviously they look. Let me try to pull this screen up a little bit so you can see it correctly. So obviously they look pretty decent and well done. And then we have banners you can create. Let's take a look at this one, for example. So this one would be one where you get like a coupon code you can use for like an e-com site. Now you can also do something called polls and surveys. I'm going to get back to that in a second. I also want to show you these two. Now you can do something they call floating bars, and these are kind of like sticky bars that you see on the top of websites, or you can do this at the bottom, or you can just have it floating, where let's do a preview here, where it's going to just show you, enter your email, join, and then there's like a picture of your site there, or a picture of your branding or your product box, or whatever it is that you want to create. And then we have banners again that you can put on your blog, or use for ads or things like that. And then finally, they also have these slide-ins. Let's show you an example of this here. And these are just going to slide in from the side, or you can choose wherever you want these to come in. And then these again are going to try to capture the customer's email address or your viewer's email address. So here's some examples of the different types of slide-ins. Here's like a restaurant one if you want to do this for like local businesses. And then we have banners again here. And then they have something called social profiles. Now this is ways, instead of like just getting their email address, if you're trying to build up your YouTube campaign, or you're trying to build up someone's Facebook campaign, you can run these. You connect your YouTube account here. We'll show it down here instead of the air. And then you can add your YouTube branding here, and that's going to get people to your YouTube channel as well. So let's go to an example of how these work. Now first I want to show these polls and surveys, because that's kind of different. So you can create these multi-surveys where it's a bunch of different products that that pop up, and the people can select which one they want, and then depending on what they choose, different things can happen. Or you can also have just these binary campaign. Let me show you this one here. And this is what it's going to look like. First, you'll see like a vote, and it will pop up, and then your visitor can vote on whether they like this watch or this watch. And then and then you can customize this. Obviously, you don't have to have watches. You want to put your own logo there and stuff. You can close on appearance. You can show the logo here if you want. You can change the position of it. It's designed so that you don't have to know a lot of editing or coding or things like that. You can just click some buttons, put in your links and things like that, and change the text. So if we don't want the background white, there's ways to change it to different colors like that. There's ways to highlight things. You can change the text color if you don't like it dark like that. And then you just type in your text here to change it. So here's the answers. We can add more answers. You don't just have to have two. You can have a bunch. You would change the images here for whatever it is you want. You can add more questions. And then you want to go to post vote action. And then depending on what they answer, you can have the same answer for both. They can go to they can share it on Facebook here. You can just do nothing. You can auto direct them to a URL to purchase. You can display an opt-in. Thanks. Here's the results. Here you go. You can opt in to get a coupon or something. Display a banner that's good for a coupon code or something like that. And then for all of these, what they have is they have these targeting options. Now you can have this as an exit intent, so meaning that they just do after it pops up after they try to leave the page. You can have this do pop up or show after a certain number of seconds, so it's not right in their face. You can do something where it's it will only show up after they're scrolling. So this is kind of important, because if you might want to run a different email campaign or redirect them to a different site based on how much content they've consumed. So if you have like a long form piece of content about a review of like a software, a review of a watch, for example, and someone's read like 75%, then they're probably interested and they're thinking about buying. So you want to target them differently. But if they've jumped in and they saw for 2 seconds and then they're bouncing, well, you don't want to send them that same email or that the same follow up to try to buy that. Those are people that they quickly saw the site. Now they're leaving because it wasn't what they wanted. But they might be interested in something else on your site. So you'd want to run a whole different email campaign that way. But you have to use something like the Reclick app to be able to get them to do that, to capture these certain segmented leads, because other pop-up apps, they don't really allow this kind of stuff. And then there's something called visibility, where the pop is going to display an X number of times, so you don't keep popping it up in the same person's face. Returning or new visitors you can target. You can do visitors from specific countries. So you can actually, choose to target just the customers that are paying money in a certain country. And there's also some features I kind of skipped out on, where you can have it, whenever it shows, you can have it bounce. Let me demonstrate this on a different one, because I have this. I'm in like the post vote stuff now. But basically, let's go over here, and then you can choose to. I'll have it like bounce in. There we go. You can have it fade in like that. There's a lot of these different animations here. You can have it something called light speed. See what that looks like. So that's kind of cool. And that's, you can do that to capture people's attention. And then now this is another important thing I wanted to highlight. There's an option to allow close. Now for some reason, these pop-up things that when they first started coming out, there are a bunch of bloggers. They said that they're making a lot of money, but they kind of weren't. They said that, you always have to make sure that there's an X, or you'll hurt the person's feelings, or they won't want to, you're making a bad impression on your site if you don't allow them to close your pop-up. So there was a couple pop-up, softwares that came up, and it kind of locked the page, so people would have to enter their email address to get the content. But then, like, these bloggers were talking about, how that's wrong or something. So then all those softwares kind of died, or they took out the features. Now this one still allows that feature. So, and I think that's a good idea in certain cases. So it allows you to uncheck this. They are going to have to take the survey. They're going to have to opt in to get through the content. So it allows you to lock certain pages or pieces of content to capture the email address that way, almost like an opt-in form, only like an opt-in page, so to speak, only it's like a pop-up where it's over top and blocking out the rest of the content that they have to get. So that's another cool feature that you can get. So let's show you one more example here of just like a regular opt-in. So let's use this template. And then just like before, we can go in and, in this case, you can choose different layouts. You can change, if it's going to bounce in or not, like last time. There we go. There's one like this. If you want it to close on appearance, allow them to close it. You can change the background color. Actually, you can change the image in that case. You can change the color and the see-through ability. So say we want it like pink, or branding's like pink, for example. Customize it that way. I think by now you're getting the point. And then here's the opt-in form. And what you can do is integrate any autoresponder you want to work with this. And if you don't have like if you have a new autoresponder, then there's ways just to insert the code so it will work for just about everything. And it does work for all type of different softwares and pages. Whether it's lead page, whether it's Shopify, whether it's a WordPress site, it will work. And then again, all these will have the targeting effects, the trigger, the visibility. And then for some of these, there's actually a way to add geolocation. I almost forgot that. So here's the headline. What you can do is press this button here, and then you can add location tags. So this will target just people in a certain city. So you can say, hey, we're running a free webinar in right now I'm living in Cranberry. So you could say, right now we're running a free webinar for users in Cranberry. Sign in your email, to join limited time, and then this will pop up, and it will have their city, their specific city, which is proven to increase conversions as well. And then, of course, you can go ahead and edit the colors, add a background like that. A bunch of different ways to make it look pretty nice. So overall, I think you got the basic idea of how Reclick works, what it does, and then, of course, the most important part is there's ways to go in and check the detailed analytics. You can see the shares, the votes of it, the click-throughs of each one. That's important. You can see the impressions of the country where people are actually clicking and opting in from. You can run the split test to see which ones are working if you don't know which kind to run or what to write, for example. So a lot of detailed stuff that does make a difference in the long run. So overall, it's definitely a good software. I would have liked to see some more features from the 2.0 version, from the first version. I don't really remember it exactly what it was. It looks like there's some more templates, and now there's the sticky bars and stuff like that. So there are some new stuff. But overall, that doesn't matter too much to me, simply because they're still a lot better than most of kind of like the pop-up stuff that's out there. Most of that stuff is kind of like Me Too, and the templates aren't very good, and the design isn't very easy to change and things like that. So it's still a decent software that can help you generate leads if you don't already have one of these installed on your site. So if you're interested in Reclick 2.0, you can check it out whenever it goes live for the early bird lifetime access price, and you're going to get a bunch of bonuses from me as well that are pretty cool. You can check out below this page, and it's launching at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully this review shed some light on Reclick 2.0 and what you get, and I'll talk to you in the next review.